Hi everyone, today I'm going to make some pemmican pudding. My name is Anita, welcome to my channel. This is where I show you how I've lost 145 pounds following a animal-based ketogenic way of eating. Okay, so last week I made beef pemmican. I made it from ground beef, tallow, salt, and I made one batch with honey. I'll list that video below if you want to see how I made those pemmican bars. And I promised in that video that today I would show you a different recipe using the pemmican bars. So I have only previously made this recipe. It's called Pemmican Pudding. I've made it using my Carnivore bars, which is very convenient and easy. But I thought, okay, well, since we're comparing Carnivore bars to homemade pemmican bars, we did that in last week's video. We broke down the macros, the cost, everything else. I'm going to see if the pemmican pudding works with my homemade bar. This one is, I weighed it and I cut a piece off. I wanted it to be 2 ounces because the Carnivore bars, they weigh 2 ounces. So I thought, well, we have to put the same ingredients in, you know, for this to work. So it's pretty simple. This is going to be a fast video. It's pretty simple what goes in here. 2 cups of cream, or you know, if you're dairy free, you could use coconut milk. I like to use this cream. It's available to me locally. There's only one ingredient, and that's cream. There's no fillers or carrageenan or anything like that. So see if you can find something clean. So there's that. I'm going to put just a little dab of vanilla powder in it. It's optional, you don't have to. And I'm going to put some beef gelatin in it, and you know, that will kind of hold it all together to make the pudding. And my pemmican bar, I think I have everything. So what I normally do with the Carnivore bar version is I cut it in half and I save some of it for, some of it is very chunky, and I grind up the rest in the blender with the cream and the gelatin powder to make it nice and fine. So this pemmican bar that I made is a little chunkier than the Carnivore bars. They're very smooth. So I want to do a good job of grinding it up. I'm going to put my 2 cups of liquid in here, and this bottle is a 2-cup bottle. 1 scoop of gelatin. Now I know that people are going to ask, how much is your scoop? I do believe all the cans come with a 10-gram scoop. Yeah, it says 1 scoop is 10 grams. But just to put your mind at ease, you know, there's nothing exact about this recipe. This recipe is pretty forgiving. Yeah, so it's about a tablespoon. A little bit either way, here or there, is not going to matter much. So I'm just going to sprinkle that on top. Let that soften for a moment. I'm going to put some powdered vanilla in. Now I was thinking that you could, if you wanted to have a chocolate pudding, you could put some cocoa in here. Like if you're making this for your family, kids might be inclined to eat it if it's chocolate. I kind of like it just as a vanilla sort of taste. Maybe some cinnamon would be nice in it too. I'm going to crunch this up. Now these were in the freezer, and so I took them out a couple hours ago, these pemmican bars. Let me get this one going. Now say you had made your pemmican bars with just the salt, beef, and tallow, then obviously you know that this dessert won't be sweet. And I mean, I'm calling it a dessert because that's kind of how I use it. I have a little bit on the side of my plate, you know, with my meal. You could use it as part of your meal, not call it a dessert. It could be savory. You know, it's really up to you. If you wanted it to be more dessert-like, you could use one of the pemmican bars if you've made it with honey, or you could use one of the honey salted Carnivore bars. They've got a honey, yeah, the honey salted are these brown ones with the, you know, with the brown package. They also have a honey barbecue. And they're not sweet, like they're just a hint of sweet. So it's really up to you if you want to add anything to make this more dessert-like, or if you're happy with it just being like a savory type of a pudding. Okay, it's already thickening up quite a bit. You can see it's pretty thick already. So I usually mold it into a pan and let it sit in the fridge for a couple of hours until it really sets. Actually, I should taste it first.
Yeah.
It's nice and light. It is not sweet. If you recall, the pemmican bars that I made, the batch with the honey, it was 1 tablespoon honey for the batch. So it is definitely not going to be sweet. This is actually a fairly light dessert, but very filling because of the heavy cream. I mean, this is where if you are following an animal-based or ketogenic way of eating and you like to add some seasonal fruit in, this would be excellent with a few raspberries or blueberries on top. So then, what I like to do is I like to leave these little bits, a few little bits that are more chunky, and then just kind of mix them in. This one that I made is softer than the Carnivore bars, and so it's kind of, you know, sticking together a bit more. But I'm going to mix this in as best I can once I crumble it up a bit. Doing this just makes it feel like there's, you know, like crumbs inside, like sort of like a, I hesitate to say cookie dough because that can be triggering for some people, but that's kind of the effect I'm going for. You could use bacon bits in here. That might be good too. I gotta get all the stickiness off my hands first. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix these in a bit. I'm just smoothing it over. Okay, so here it is. That's gonna go in the fridge, and I'll just let it set for a couple of hours, come back, and we'll do a taste test. I'll see how I think it is compared to the one I've been making. And it should be a little bit firmer than it is, although it is pretty firm. And we'll be back to show it to you soon. Okay, so I've taken this out of the fridge. It's been about 2 hours. It should be set up now. And here we go. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to take some out. I'll show you generally what I have as a serving. You can do you. You can eat the whole thing. But that's kind of what I would have on the side of my plate, you know, after having some meat. Now, if I was using it as a meal replacement, I would of course have quite a bit more than this, but let's give it a try. I love it. It's really good. So yeah, it's light and fluffy. It's got the chunks of pemmican in it, little hint of vanilla, and it's yummy. Anyways, it's something different, and you know, you can use, depending on how you flavor it and what you do with it, you can have it as a little dessert, or you can just have it as part of your meal. And I hope you give it a try and let me know how you like it. See you on the next video.
To put, oops, I had the lid off already. And thanks, whichever dog did that.